are you, it's very important. You who are saying that you have anxiety, are you, who are you? Are you the anxiety? Are you whoever is saying that you have the anxiety? Are you who is aware of saying that you have anxiety?
Can Qigong help people with anxiety, and how in your experience, how do you help people to overcome anxiety specifically?
Okay, well, anxiety, if you really think of what it is, anxiety is a sense perception, which is like a bodily sensation, oh, because if you ask, oh, you say you have anxiety, what is anxiety to you? For most people, it is, oh, I have some kind of tension in my chest or in my belly or in my head. So it's some kind of sensation. So then already it's an object, right? And then, okay, so you say this, are you, it's very important. You who are saying that you have anxiety, are you, who are you? Are you the anxiety? Are you whoever is saying that you have the anxiety? Are you who is aware of saying that you have anxiety? Usually people say, oh, actually, yes, now that you put it that way, I am who is aware of saying it. Already there, you changed it. Already you changed the information right there. Before that, you were an object. After that, you're aware of the information. Oh, actually, I'm awareness. And then whatever was there, it will begin to change. And so the way to work with anxiety is simply to realize that it is an object. It exists within the reference framework. First, you need to see, oh, it's a sensation in my body. It's connected to some kind of thought, to connect to some kind of emotion, connect to some kind of behavior. But ultimately, it exists in the realm of objects. But you, who is aware of them, you are not an object. You are information. You are awareness. You are intelligence. And when you see it that way, this is the you could say it's not magic, but it looks like magic. There's consciousness. There's the object. Consciousness looks at the object. It's looking at it. Oh, I see that object. It's whatever, anxiety, how it manifests. But the trick is, because consciousness is everywhere, it's behind every object, the information behind all objects. So if you're aware of an object, you look at it, and then what we want is, like right now, I'll ask you this question. Right now and here, Timonique, are you aware that I'm aware that you exist right now?
Yes, I think so.
Yes. Yes. So what I'm trying to say is we're going beyond the objects of Timonique and Federico. So it's awareness recognizing itself, you see? So it's the same with every other object. I'm putting my hand here as an example. So here's the anxiety. I'm aware of it, like of Timonique, and I ask it, oh, anxiety, are you aware that I'm aware that you are there in my body? You're aware of the sensation, the emotion, the energy, the chi, everything. And then it says, it looks back and it says, yes. And then who answers? Who answers is you information that was hiding behind the object, you see? But once you see it, oh, it's just an object, it's just anxiety, it's just a sensation. You ask it, hey, are you aware that I'm aware? Yes. And so then you look at each other, and then there's no longer this and that. Now there's just one. You see? Instantly, right away. There's no process, there's no reading a book, nothing. Just like that. Simple. The trick is to find somebody who is available to be asked that question. There are not very many of those yet, but in principle, it's very easy, because it's so obvious, because everybody already, you are who you are awareness, everybody. It's not some special person, that's stupid. Everybody is already who they are. And so if you actually get somebody, you can get somebody from the street and ask them, hey, are you aware that I'm aware that you exist? Or is it not true that you are awareness? And they'll say, yes, of course, yes, I am aware, yes. Then later they think maybe, oh, he was crazy or he's insane, they will walk away. But at that moment, the moment that you ask, they cannot say anything but yes. Because everybody, we are already like this. It's not, you don't need to be special, you need to study Qigong, you need to study anything. Everybody already knows it. I'm trying to say that this is not special. It's not meant to be special. It only appears to be special because it's relatively rare.
That makes so much sense. Wow, it makes so much sense. Because I was going to ask you, when you first started talking, my first thought was, okay, but someone who, for example, is getting panic attacks, who's so far away from asking that question, from consciousness, how do you bring them from someone prone to panic attacks on a frequent basis, that level of anxiety? They're not even aware of the anxiety, never mind trying to actually, ask it, are you aware that I'm aware of you? How do you bring them from there to actual awareness of that?
Yes, well, actually, I do it every day, all the time. People that have never met me, and because they don't know me, they don't know that I will ask them that question in some way, whatever way they are open to it. I don't always ask it in the same way. I find a different way for each person. And so the moment that I ask them, and they say, of course, they are surprised. Oh, but they think that it's something very special. They think it's unique, it's separate, like it's like a special object. Because in the reference framework, like in most people, there's a very strong inertia, like from the past. And so it's just it's a force of conditioning. You see, it's conditioning. And so when there's an energetic pattern in our experience of the body, our experience of consciousness, it wants to remain there because it has the tendency, like, the Qi is doing something for a very long time, so it wants to keep doing it. And so those are the people that come and see me one time. They never come again. Sometimes they do, but rarely. But for that one time, they have realized who they are for that one time, for that 1 minute. And then everything is wonderful. They say, oh, it's great, it's fantastic, but I never see them again. Rarely, sometimes people come back. Yes. And I suppose it's not only the force of conditioning, but also because the reference framework, it generates our personality, who we think we are. We identify with that personality very much. So if we begin to change it and we see how easy it is to change it, then some part of us, which is in our nervous system, will react against it. Fear. And so in that instance, it's simply a matter of grace, Consciousness in that particular person is not yet interested in just being. There's still a lot of things to do, Oh, I need to do this, I need to have that, I need to whatever, there's so many things. We all know what it is, we all have wanted different things. So there's no problem, because actually there are no problems in the world in the way that people talk about them. Because why? Because the truth of our reality as consciousness is there. And if something terrible is happening, it's because we want it to happen. You see? Consciousness is behind everything in the universe, everything. And so if it's creating war, famine, disease, terrible things, it's fine. It's not a problem. It's a way for us. I speak only, of course, personally for myself, because I've experienced so much of everything good and bad. And it makes complete sense to me. Yes, well, you could say that the way of illness is the way of suffering. And when you have suffered enough, you say, I don't want suffering anymore. And then you're willing to change who you think you are. It's basically changing your attitude. So it's not complicated. It's very simple. But the way that Dr. Pang put it, and I wish that people would listen more to what he said. Zileng Qigong is very simple, but it is not easy. Very, very simple. Easy, not. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. And in that regard, it's similar to most of the non-dual traditions of humanity. Like in Greece, in the Greek traditions of Parmenides, the Advaita Vedanta, some forms of yoga. So from my point of view, I'm not really in touch with many different teachers, but from what I know, what is being emphasized the most, and probably because it's required, it's needed, is understanding Zileng Qigong through forms, through doing this, through doing that, through doing many different things. Whereas I think there can be maybe more of an influence of really sharing the bare essence of it, which is, it's very simple. Just by speaking about it, we can already understand it. You just speak in this particular way, which I don't remember the Chinese phrase, but in English, it's called speaking in a nourishing way. You speak, and as you speak, you're nourished. The speaker is nourished and the listener is nourished. And why? Because there's not you and me, there's just whoever we are. We start from that.